It's a common assumption that getting older automatically means getting weaker across the board, but the reality is much more specific. The weakness doesn't happen everywhere all at once. Instead, it quietly targets the lower body first. The most rapid decline happens right here in the foundation, the quadriceps in the front of the thigh, the glute muscles, and specifically the fast-twitch muscle fibers buried within them. These are the fibers responsible for quick, powerful reactions. When those fibers weaken, the effects show up in everyday life. You might notice your walking pace slowing down. Getting out of a low chair suddenly takes a bit more effort, and moments where you slightly lose your balance are much harder to recover from, making falls far more likely. Medical science calls this age-related decline in muscle mass and strength sarcopenia. It can actually start in your 30s, but the effects become highly noticeable once you cross 50. The difficulty you might feel climbing stairs is the direct result of your body reacting to a missing biological signal, a deliberate shift in how it manages its internal resources. Muscles follow a very strict rule. If the body doesn't need them, it strips them down. Muscle tissue takes a lot of energy to maintain, so if it's not being used, the body conserves resources by letting it go. Modern life makes this incredibly easy to trigger. Spending long hours sitting down or moving at a slow, constant pace sends extremely weak maintenance signals to your legs. This chart maps the body's efficiency turning dietary protein into muscle, dropping off significantly past 50. Notice the growing gap between the protein you eat and what your body actually uses. The raw materials required to repair fast-twitch fibers simply fail to reach their destination. So you have reduced physical activity sending fewer demand signals, paired with poor protein processing. In that environment, dropping lower body mass is a perfectly logical biological response. The breakdown also happens on an internal, microscopic level. Your muscles and nerves work as a team, but over time, the communication pathways between them become sluggish. When those nerve signals misfire or slow down, physical coordination suffers. Your fast-twitch muscles simply don't get the memo in time to catch you if you trip. At the same time, the natural aging process causes a dip in vital metabolic hormones, like testosterone and growth hormone, which usually act as the primary chemical messengers telling the body to hold on to its strength. Because researchers have mapped out exactly how and why these nerves and hormones stop communicating, we know exactly what is required to deliberately switch those dormant internal signals back on and rebuild. Your muscles remain highly adaptable throughout your entire life. Even well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond, they never lose the capacity to rebuild. Step 1 to triggering that rebuild is strength training. It is the single most effective way to send a loud, undeniable message to your body that these specific muscles are still required. The movements don't need to be complicated. A simple chair squat, where you sit, stand slowly, and return to a seated position with control, is incredibly effective for building leg strength and directly improving your mobility. Step-ups onto a Mo platform, resistance band side steps, and seated rows are entirely joint-friendly ways to safely challenge those crucial fast-twitch fibers. Pushing against resistance forces your nervous system to wake up. It commands the body to halt the sarcopenia process and start reinforcing your physical foundation. But a loud signal to rebuild is useless if your muscles don't have the materials to do the work. That brings us to step 2, prioritizing protein. Supplying your body with high-quality sources like eggs, fish, Greek yogurt, lean meats, and lentils is essential. And because older digestive systems process it less efficiently, you have to spread that protein intake evenly across all your meals to maintain a steady supply. Step 3 is daily movement. A few isolated strength workouts a week are fantastic, but without consistent everyday activity, they aren't enough to keep the biological machinery running. Activities like walking, gardening, or taking the stairs act as constant background reminders to your nervous system that the lower body is still very much in use. Maintaining muscle strength is the definitive biological strategy for securing balance and retaining the physical independence required to fully enjoy life. Remember, life after 50 isn't about slowing down. It's about living stronger, healthier, and happier. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. This is Longevity after 50. Adding life to years, one step at a time.